everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this first episode of Bree's Bench. Now I'm so excited to be here, and what we will be talking about today is the week 1 predictions. Now for Thursday night football, the Texans are playing at the Chiefs, and no surprise here, have the Chiefs winning. Now I do have the Chiefs winning kind of, I would say high, just because I feel like they're going to come out and do the damn thing. I don't think the Chiefs believe that Super Bowl hangover is something for them, and I personally don't believe that either. I think that they're going to come out and they are going to pick up where they left off, basically. Texans are good. Love Texans. Love Deshaun Watson. It really sucks that D-Hop left. He still has some targets with Kenny Stills out there. Will Fuller, Randall Cobb will help as well. Didn't think he deserved that much money, but it is what it is. That's still another target. He finished great in Dallas last year with like over 800 yards, close to 1,000. So he will still have some weapons out there, but I just don't see really anybody beating the Chiefs unless you're like a Ravens team or a Niners team at the moment. I just think that Super Bowl high is going to get them pretty much through the 2020 season. Now for our next set of games, it's going to be the Sunday games, the 1 o'clock games. The first game that I have that we can talk about is the Seahawks at the Falcons. I still pick the Seahawks to win. I love the Seahawks. I love Russ, and Russ we trust, but in the NFL. But no, really. I do like the Falcons. Matt Ryan's great. Julio Jones is great. Calvin Ridley has always been a great second receiver. But something is not working for that team. Something coaching-wise, they might need a new dynamic. I don't know what it is, but something for the Falcons is definitely just not working at the moment. I really hope that they can pick it up this season and kind of give some life, give some positivity to their team. But for that first game, I don't see them beating the Seahawks at all. Now, Chris Carson will be back. Rashard Penny is still unfortunately out, but they did add Carlos Hyde. So they're gonna be doing the damn thing. They're going to be running the football, and it is a division game. And division games usually sometimes are tougher depending on the team that it is. But even if it does come close, which it might, Falcons might come out and have something that they want to prove. I think Russell Wilson will take over and just hit Tyler Lockett down the field for like a 50-yard pass or something crazy like that. We talk about the run game and they're great at running, but I mean, Tyler Lockett always makes these amazing catches, and DK Metcalf, this is his second year, and I think he's going to only get better. Will Dissly's supposed to be back as well, so we'll see how that goes. I know that worked really well for them in the past, but yeah, I still have Seahawks winning. Could be a potential like neck and neck game, but then Russ is going to take over and make some amazing down the field MVP type throws. The next game that we're going to take a look at is the Browns at the Ravens. Now, I do have the Ravens winning this game, but I do have the Browns showing a lot of potential of what they could be with Kevin Stefanski running their team. Now, Ravens are going to do Ravens things. Lamar is going to do Lamar things. I am hoping from everything that they talked about during training camp that Lamar is going to be able to make some better throws in this first game, but I don't really see it being a problem. It's going to be more of what has Kevin Stefanski done with the Browns? Like, has he changed anything? What has he done to better the Browns? I do think they're going to show growth and improvement, but not to the point where they're going to beat the Ravens. So that's where kind of like my mindset is with that. It is still going to be a pretty hard game, but I do see Lamar kind of taking over the game as well. And for the next team that we're going to be talking about is the Jets at the Bills. Obviously, no brainer here. I think the Bills are going to take this. I don't know what's going on with the Jets. It seems like it's kind of a struggle bus over there with the departure of Jamal Adams. They did get some linemen, but I don't see that being enough to help Sam Darnold. I do think Sam Darnold has the potential. They're just in another rebuilding year, and this is an example of a divisional game that I don't really think is going to affect the opposing team and be a harder game than it should be. I think the Bills will come out, and as long as Josh Allen makes great decisions, the defense picks up where it left off last year, it's going to be really, really good. And they added Stephon Diggs, and that's kind of a big deal. So I'm pretty excited to see that. Not so much excited for the Jets. I think it's going to have, for me personally, it's going to have to be watching them and seeing if there's anything to be excited about. So our next game that we have, another 1 o'clock game. it's going to be the Raiders at the Panthers. Now for this one, I do have the Raiders winning. Shocker. Just kidding, probably not. But I do have the Raiders winning just because with the addition of like Teddy Bridgewater to Carolina, I do think that's going to anchor them back down because Teddy Bridgewater did a lot of great things for the Saints last year. He's going to be more of a game manager, but I just think the defense might be too young for situational football when they're playing the Raiders. Raiders did add Henry Ruggs for that outside speed, which is going to be amazing. Darren Waller is still going to be as trusty as ever. Hunter Renfrow, I've always heard great things about him, and seeing him kind of on tape last year. And even watching Hard Knocks last year, man, he kind of stood out. But I know he did get injured last year as well. So he's just been somebody that's been growing kind of behind the scenes. So I'm interested to see if he'll have more of a breakout season this year. So I think that's something that is going to be looked out, like for us to look out for. I just don't see, I know the Panthers in the long run, since they obviously drafted all defense, I know in the long run it's going to be great for them and they're young. But with the whole COVID thing and there being no preseason games, this is the very first game. So I think it's just going to be a lot of like situational stuff and a lot of little things. But I do have very, very high hopes for that defense in the future. The next matchup I'm kind of excited to talk about. Well, not excited, but I do have a lot to say about this matchup. So it's the Bears at the Lions. I originally had the Bears to win, but they announced their starting quarterback as Mitch Trubisky, and now I have the Lions to win. With that being said, Bears defense is solid. Bears have some great outside weapons on offense, great backfield. It's literally just going to be if Mitch Trubisky can make those decisions. Now, last year, he really didn't make great decisions. He has the potential to, but it just seems that every time he was flustered in the pocket, got flushed out and didn't make a great throw, got a bad sack and all these things. So whenever I saw that Nick Foles went to Chicago, I was actually pretty excited because I love Nick Foles. He may be a game manager, but don't come for me because I still love him. And I was like, good, he's going to kind of bring some anchoring to that team. And I really thought that he was going to start. But they did come out and say that, Mitch is going to start. And I need to see it before I can actually predict that they're going to win. I need to see it before I believe it, if that makes sense. So that's originally why I had the Bears picked. But now I have the Lions picked because Matthew Stafford is back. They had great receivers last year. As long as they can just play a really solid, good game, make great decisions, make great plays on defense, I do think that they can beat the Bears. However, it is a divisional game, so this is one of those divisional games where kind of anything goes. But I hope for the future they do play Nick Foles because I do like Nick Foles, even though he's a little fragile right now. So the next team that we have is going to be the Colts at the Jags, and it's obviously going to be the Colts. The Jags don't really have a lot going on. They have a lot of young talent, but, like I said before, with everything going on with COVID, no preseason games, a lot tighter schedule, no OTAs, no training camps, it is a lot harder to put your football players in that situation. So I just think that this is going to be a very painful building year for the Jaguars, and it really sucks because I like Gardner Minshew. He makes me laugh. He's funny. He did make pretty good decisions. He was throwing, man. He was throwing. Even on fantasy, he had always pretty high points. So kind of sucks, but maybe they can build on something and make kind of like a late run like the Dolphins did. Colts are obviously going to win. Phillip Rivers is going to go in and kind of bring some leadership to that offense. I personally am not the biggest Phillip Rivers fan, but I think that he has the potential to take that team to a different dimension that it hasn't been to yet in the past couple of years. So I'm really excited to see that. Love T.Y. Hilton, love Marlon Mack. I love Quentin Nelson. He's probably like my favorite lineman, to be honest. Like his takes or his mic'd ups always make me laugh, and that boy can block. On to our next divisional game that we have. Still 1 o'clock games, by the way. We have the Packers at the Vikings. Now, this is always a really good matchup to watch. I love watching the Packers at the Vikings. Packers at the Vikings, Vikings at the Packers. Whoever's field they're at. It's always really, really good, really hard football. I do have the Packers winning just because last year in the division, the Packers did sweep the Vikings. I just really don't see the Vikings beating the Packers. As long as the Packers come out and still did what they did last year, kind of put Aaron Aaron Rodgers into more of like a game manager position and letting Aaron Jones just run the football. Now, I know the biggest takeaway from going into this season was that they did not give Aaron Rodgers any help. And I feel the exact same way. I love Devontae Adams, but he needs somebody else to kind of pair with him. It was kind of a team effort last year with the other receivers that Aaron Rodgers was throwing to. So maybe since it's their second year, they'll kind of have more of a camaraderie and it'll be a little bit easier, but they still needed balance for the wide receiver position, and that they did not get. They got Jordan Love instead. Even though that happened, I still do believe that the Packers are going to beat the Vikings in this game. It could easily go the other way because it's a divisional game, but like I said, they swept them last year, so I really don't see that happening. Oh my gosh, guys, this game I had went back and forth with myself on so much just because I was like, I could see it both ways. It's the Dolphins at the Patriots. I really wanted to be that person that picked the Dolphins and be like, well, they're a sleeper team and they ended up pretty good last year towards the end of the year. Not good, obviously, but they ended up exciting, and Fitzmagic was out and they were just creating plays and I was here for it. But I brought myself back in because, I believe that Bill Belichick will do Bill Belichick things, and Cam is starting for the Patriots now, so that gives me more hope that, it's going to be the Cam and the Julian Edelman show. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be a very, very interesting divisional game, and if the Dolphins do win, you heard it here first, probably the only hot take. I don't know. We'll see. But that was who I wanted to pick. But I did end up picking the Patriots just because it's Bill. And I think Bill's going to put his players in the best position to win, whether it's by a point or by 10. So I did pick the Patriots. The last 1:00 game that we have is Eagles at Washington. Now, I know it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, Eagles should win this one. Eagles very much should win this one with a comfortable lead. But last year, since this is a divisional team, they gave the Eagles a pretty hard time every time they played. That first game, week 1, same matchup. It was a 32-27 Eagle win. I remember sitting at home and watching the games, and then I switched over to the Eagle at Washington game, and I was just sitting there and I looked at the score and I was like, oh my gosh, Washington came out to punch somebody in the mouth. Did they finish that way? No, but it was a it took me back pretty much to see that they came out that much on fire. However, I don't see that happening this year because I think the Eagles have learned their lesson. I just think that the Washington is still rebuilding. Yes, they added Chase Young to a very shaky defense to kind of anchor it, but I think it does have potential to be good in the future, and it's going to just kind of be growing and seeing what they need to work on as well. So for this one, I do have the Eagles winning. I don't have them getting punched in the mouth like they did last year. All right, guys, this takes us into our next round of games, the 4:25 Eastern Standard Time games. The first teams that we are looking at are the Chargers at the Bengals. Now, I do have the Chargers winning. I've been watching Hard Knocks. If y'all have been watching Hard Knocks, leave your thoughts down below so we can gossip together in the comments. But I do have the Chargers winning just because I expect Tyrod to kind of manage the game overall and lead the team to a W. I expect the defense to be very good. Even with no Derwin James, I still do expect with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa up front, I do think hopefully they might be able to limit Joe Mixon a little bit, but I don't know because Joe Mixon never stops running. He bounces to another hole and keeps on going. But I do think the Chargers would win. However, I am excited to see the Bengals progress. There has been no preseason, no mini camps, no OTAs. So I'm excited to see what they're doing. I can't really pick them to win this one just because of situational football, of seeing the defense and all those things. I just don't really think that Joe Burrow will be able to pull off a dub this time, but I do think it's a really good time to grow and a pretty solid team to go up against. Bengals will be good for the future with AJ Greenback, who will be great, with Joe Mixon, who has always, and even last year, played really well and pretty hard. T. Higgins, who is also another draft pick for the Bengals, he has to learn more as well. And so that's why I didn't really pick them to win, but I am excited to see for their potential. I am excited to see the potential for the future. So the next team that we have is the Bucs at the Saints. Now, this is a game that I think we've all been waiting for. I think everybody's been waiting for the Patriots to play and the Bucs to play, to see who was it. Was it Tom? Was it Bill? Was it both? Will it be neither? I don't know. We'll see. I'm just excited just because Tampa Bay kind of just came together to make a super team, a super team. And I'm excited to see that. I'm not all the way on the Tampa Bay hype train, but I am excited to see some momentum from that team, some positive plays, not so many interceptions. I mean, the defense was pretty much gassed all last year because every other play was an interception for them, unfortunately. But I am excited to see that. I do have the Saints winning over the Bucs this game, just because they are going to be in the Superdome, and I do believe that Drew Brees is going to ultimately carry the Saints to a win. They did add Emmanuel Sanders, so I'm excited to see that. Michael Thomas cannot be guarded by anybody on the planet. Anybody. And I'm going to put that here. He's going to continue to grow. He's going to continue to get better as long as no injuries hit him. Can't guard Mike is here for 2020 season. And when you're trying to guard Mike, I think that Emmanuel Sanders will be open. And when you're trying to guard both of them, Alvin Kamara is going to run up everywhere on the field. And I totally believe it. And if you're trying to guard Alvin Kamara as well, you can throw in Murray in there. And he did great last year for them as well. So I'm super excited for that. I'm just super excited to see the Bucs. You have no preseason games. So a lot of these predictions are just based off of what I already know, what I see, potential. I will always talk about the potential. And obviously once, we start seeing where these teams kind of are down the line, I do have Tampa Bay winning whenever the Saints play them at home, because this is another divisional game. But I'm excited to see Tampa Bay Tom Brady. I'm excited to see what he can do with that team with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I'm curious to see if Gronk can come back and be something for them. So also they just added Leonard Fournette for another backfield runner. And I'm excited to see it. So we shall see where that goes. But for now, back to reality. I do have the Saints winning. I just don't really see Tampa Bay coming off hot and just beating them right away. It could be a close game, and I could be wrong. But Saints for now. All right, so the next team let's look at, we have Cardinals at the Niners, and this was probably one of my most favorite matchups to watch last year, because the Cardinals always seemed to give the Niners a good run for their money. It always seemed to be close. It always seemed everywhere. It always seemed high action, and I was here for it. I was so here for it. Now, I do have the Niners winning, just because they went to the Super Bowl last year. They might have a Super Bowl hangover a little bit, but I still do see that defense anchoring them and being great. I still see Jimmy G making good decisions, hopefully, and running the ball. I just don't see Kyle Shanahan setting them up to fail this first week. I feel like he's going to give them a great platform to go out and do what they do best. However, because they had such close divisional games last year, I do believe Cardinals could sneak in and take this. Could possibly sneak in and take this with the addition of D-Hop and with Kyler Murray being a second-year quarterback now. I am excited for DeAndre Hopkins to be on the Cardinals, to be on a little bit of a younger team. Larry Fitzgerald, old as time, but he still did the damn thing last year, and it was amazing. They have positive momentum going forward, and I think D-Hop is going to give them just that other level of greatness that will hopefully take them to the next level for their team. Okay, and for our Sunday night football game that we have, it is the Cowboys at the Rams' new stadium at SoFi. For this one, I am kind of torn. I have debated in my head, gone back and forth, if it's the Cowboys, if it's the Rams, if it's Cowboys, if it's the Rams. I might just make a game time decision here, a situational decision, much like situational football. So, okay, hear me out. The reason why I wanted to pick the Rams is because in the divisional game in 2019, they beat us, Avi. Last year, we beat them. Now, I'm kind of like a pattern person. Like, maybe it's their turn this year. But you know what? Screw that. Cowboys are going to take this game. Cowboys are going to take this game. I do think they could have the potential to blow the Cowboys out this game too. It just depends. If the Cowboys are the same Cowboys, which I pray that they're not, but if they are, then let me put it this way. As long as Cowboys don't do Cowboys things, they should win this game with the addition of CeeDee Lamb, Coop, and Mike being the monster that they are, with Zeke eating, with Dak making great decisions, and with a nasty defensive line. It should work in the Cowboys' favor. However, I hope Cowboys don't do Cowboys things and let the Rams take it, but we shall see. So my game time decision is the Cowboys, but don't come for me, because if the Cowboys do Cowboys things, which I hope they don't, the Rams will win. But I've been seeing what they've been doing on Hard Knocks for the Rams, and I hope they do have a comeback season. It sucks, man. Like 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl, and now it's just kind of like they fell off the face of the earth. So I do hope they get some momentum and they come back and they do really, really well. So, I guess I just did it. I just changed it. It's the Cowboys. Cannot not do it, okay? Cannot not do it. But don't come for me, okay? And this will take us to the Monday Night Football games. Now, we have actually 2 Monday Night Football games this week. The first game that we have is the Steelers at the Giants. So, obviously, I do pick the Steelers to win. I say obviously as if you guys know me. I guess I can't say obviously until there's a couple more episodes that we've been together. So, I do pick the Steelers to win. I do pick the Steelers to win because their defense was just downright nasty, filthy, unbelievable towards the end of the year, okay? Mike Tomlin made that team. The defense made that team. And I just expect them to pick up where they left off, but obviously be better because Ben is back. And I expect Juju, since Ben and Juju have that relationship, it will be much better. So I do expect the Steelers to go in and get a good win, and it'll be good momentum for them going forward. I hope the Steelers blow out the Steelers defense. I hope they shut down the Giants, just because I have the Steelers defense in fantasy, okay? And I hope they take away like 6 picks. However, unrealistic. But the Giants, I do believe the Giants will be fairly solid this year. I think their offense is a little bit more grounded this year. Daniel Jones will do pretty well. Feed Saquon and let the offense run through him, and I think they'll do really, really well with that. It's still a rebuilding year. They're not going to be like amazingly good, but it'll still be better than last year, and they'll give themselves more room to grow on. So it'll definitely be a tough test this first game, but it will give them room to grow. And I do think that that young offense has a lot of potential for the future. Sorry. There's a little burpee up in here. And our last game, which is my sleeper game this week, which a lot of people are probably going to think I'm so crazy for picking. But Titans at Broncos. And I do have the Broncos winning. Now, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're thinking. I already know. Why would you think that the Broncos would beat the Titans? The Titans beat the Ravens last year. And I think that with everything going on, I do think the Broncos have the potential to win. Oh, I'm picking them to win. I know that they're going to win. Not no, because then you guys are going to come for me later. But I do believe that they're going to win. When Drew Lock went in the last couple games, it was pretty okay. Like, Like, I saw it and I'm mad at it. Funny story, I accidentally, last year in fantasy, I accidentally picked Cortland Sutton instead of somebody else because my chubby finger got in the way. But he ended up saving my team a lot last year. He had a really good breakout season, so I'm super excited for him to build on that specifically this year. You add Jerry Jeudy, which is another really, really good pick, and I'm super excited for him. You have a young tight end at Noah Fant who did get progressively better, so it's just a lot of youngness that could really, really it could blow people away, but really give them a good potential building for next year as well. But I do think that they're going to come out and win. I know some of y'all are going to be like, but they just signed Jadeveon Clowney. Well, just so you know, I don't think he's going to be in the first round of games. He possibly could be, but I could be wrong as well. I know that the acclimation process takes forever. I guess it just depends. I know the COVID process takes forever to make sure you're okay to be with the team, but depending on the team and how they're going to acclimate him in, it might be a while. I think that's team by team, but I could totally be wrong. And Jadeveon Clowney be up on that screen on Monday night. I could totally be wrong. But like I said, that is my sleeper for this week. Be mad at me. If the Titans come back and win, it's fine, because you know what? They still did it. They still got it. The Titans are still going to be a very good team this year. They're going to be a very difficult team to beat. And now that I'm thinking about it, I remember last year they came out and beat some butt on the first week. So I could be wrong, but that's just my sleeper. That's my sleeper for this week. What are your guys' sleeper for this week? I'm so interested to hear in the comments down below who you think is going to win that I didn't say. Also, I would like to know your week 1 predictions on what you guys think is going to happen this week as well. Who are you looking forward to seeing? Who are you projecting to also be a sleeper in fantasy? That's super exciting as well, and maybe we can get more into that in the next coming weeks. But please like and subscribe to my channel. This was so amazing. Like I said, this was my first episode, and I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to hear your guys' thoughts, your sleepers. Remember to leave them below. And I will see you in the next podcast, guys. Bye. Start over.